Sentient beings are driven by two strong biological instincts. Indeed, these instincts make up the fundamental meaning of life. 1. Survival. 2. Reproduction. Their purpose is the continuation of the species. The survival instinct manifests itself in such stimulus responses as fight or flight. When sentient beings are faced with a danger or stress, a biological trigger helps us decide whether to stay and fight or flee flight. The reproductive urge is linked to sexual desire and wanting to protect one's offspring. The passing on of one's genes to one's offspring is the nearest we can get to immortality. There is a third instinct that I've noticed, closely linked to the survival instinct, which helps humans deal with psychological and emotional pain, powerlessness, and a lack of understanding. That instinct is coping. Humans use various coping mechanisms to deal with said hardships. Coping, in the psychological sense in which I mean it, is to invest conscious effort to interpret positively a hardship in order to master, manage, and tolerate the stress or conflict that said hardship provokes. It's a mentality wherein the person seeks to blue pill him or herself in order to protect him or herself from a harsh red pill realization. That realization may be that a situation is worse than one is telling oneself, or that an ongoing situation has no real resolution. Take the example of Dallas Weens, whose face was seared off when his head touched a live power cable. He sees his debilitating and disfiguring accident as a new lease on life.
It's a shot at a brand new life. It's a new lease, you know?
You don't need your face seared off to get a new lease on life. This is coping. The alternative to his coping could manifest in despair, depression, or even suicide.
Because I'm 25 years old, and 15 years ago a face transplant was science fiction. What's going to happen in the next 15 years?
He has no eyes, yet copes that surgery may help him to see in the future. Often disabled people say that they wouldn't want to become able-bodied. This mentality helps them cope with their disability when there is no chance of them becoming able-bodied. Blue pill coping. Coping is at the heart of self-comforting phrases such as, "I didn't like that girl anyway," to cope with romantic rejection. It's that company's loss for not hiring me, an attempt to comfort oneself that a profitable company is somehow worse off for having rejected your candidacy. She's gone to a better place. To cope with the death of a loved one. But how do you know that loved one really has gone to a better place? Tong Zo uploaded a video to YouTube stating that Tinder is broken or possibly has some error because he isn't getting any matches or response from women. Could this be coping?
I just want to show you guys something wrong I found with Tinder. Yeah, this is both my profiles on Tinder, but for some reason I found that when I keep swiping on Tinder, nothing ever really matches up, and I'm not really sure why. For some reason, I'm not getting any matches, which is really, really weird. I mean, I know there's a lot of girls that might not like me back, but there has to be at least one girl out of the, the hundreds or so that I'm liking, so.
There has to be a reason, unrelated to my looks, why I can't date the women to whom I'm heavily attracted. At worst, I'm a 6. There is no way I'm average looking or below.
It is absolutely ridiculous that I'm not getting any matches back. I have some okay looking pictures, and I have 2 different accounts here that's connected to 2 of my Facebook accounts, both basically the same. I just wanted to connect 2 Tinder accounts just to see if one of my Tinder accounts was messed up or something was going on or something, because I couldn't understand why I was...
Now there may be some truth to this bug, but getting no matches doesn't necessarily mean that this bug affects you. Tong did right in investigating with a second profile. The odds that he just happened to have 2 faulty profiles is low. How many more profiles will he create before he stops coping? While there may also be some truth to Tinder's new algorithm slightly affecting how many matches people get, e.g. mass swiping resulting in penalization, most attractive men still get plenty of matches on the platform. Being told something that you want to hear helps you to cope. In this case, unattractive guys in the comment section of this video agree wholeheartedly with Tong Zo's assertion that Tinder must be broken if you don't get any matches. Did anyone figure it out? I have the exact same problem. Yeah, I think it's a bug. Tinder's a fucking scam. Same BS happened to me, like no matches forever, fuck their algorithm, or BS Facebook bug. Tried that too, still nothing, done with it. Hurt seeing all my friends going on dates and shit because they didn't have this bad luck. I'm having the same problem. Not one match ever. No feedback on why either. By all means, investigate whether the bug affects you. For example, use your Tinder account B to right swipe your Tinder account A and see if you get a match. But if you can't find evidence of a bug, but still believe something must be going on, you're probably coping. The alternative to this coping would be to swallow the red pill and acknowledge that, at least in photos, you aren't physically attractive. For evolutionary reasons, women are the pickier sex. Firstly, because women have 5 times less the sex hormone, testosterone, that men have. Secondly, because pregnancy is physically, biologically, and physiologically dearer for women. Once a woman is pregnant, she is incapacitated for 9 months with the offspring growing inside her, and then for a few more years while breastfeeding, child-rearing and recovering, whereas a man can impregnate any number of women concurrently and have multiple offspring from each. A woman has 1 egg per menstrual cycle versus a man's many sperm, so a woman has to choose the father of her offspring carefully. Incidentally, note how many sperm are competing for 1 egg. This is analogous to the sexual market for humans. A woman, or egg, is bombarded by various men, or sperm, but only the fittest sperm fertilizes the egg. Evolutionarily speaking, it would be biologically costly for a woman to waste time giving birth to weak offspring that could die soon. Not so much for a man. We all assess genetic fitness in part through physicality, i.e. looks. For women, dating is a search for the perfect man, or as near as they can get, a race to the top. Of course, men want attractive women just as women want attractive men, but it's men's higher testosterone that will drive them to coupling with whoever they can. For men, it has become a race to the bottom.
I want to thank this guy for an amazing summer. What a summer we had, and what a year ahead. I love you.
Yes, I'm disabled and I can still date hot guys.
Disabled woman speaks about her dating experiences. Wheelchair user Samantha Rank here suggests that she has a better dating life than most able-bodied men. I made a fake dating profile of a woman in a wheelchair. Within minutes of the profile going live, I was contacted by a man through Plenty of Fish's chat window. Not even my male model profile was contacted with this much urgency. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
How are you, Emma?
I'm okay. It's my first time on here.
Okay, you look lovely in your pic, by the way. What do you look for in a man? Still there? Hello? Hi, still there? Well, hello there. I don't tend to get on here that much due to work and odd shift patterns. I have a wicked sense of humor, naughty but nice personality, and hoping to find someone similar to enjoy some banter, to get to know someone, to meet for a drink and hopefully start a relationship. If you'd like to keep in touch, my number is 07. Hope to hear from you soon.
Did you read my profile?
Yes, I did. Am I too old for you? I sincerely hope that this was a catfish. Hey.
Hey, you're gorgeous. That has to be a fake picture.
Haha, thanks. No, it's real.
What are you doing on this site? You're obviously hot. Sorry, I was just wondering.
I don't think that I'm hot, am I? You're not too bad yourself. What about a young girl with a craniofacial deformity, cherubism? That dating experiment coming soon.
Turns out women have more orgasms with rich men. The researchers believe that since they are with a more desirable mate, someone who could produce or at least keep them more comfortable in a matter of speaking, from an evolutionary perspective, that's why women are more attracted and hence have more orgasms with these people.
Many women find wealthy men attractive. Men and society in general are far more accepting of the fact that a man's money attracts women than that a man's looks attracts women. Comments on videos discussing what attracts women are typically in the vein: what women want in a man: 1, money; 2, tall; 3, money; 4, see above. Rubbish, it's all about money. What women really want in a man: money. Why is this? This is down to 1, the fact that women and society downplay the importance of men's looks, so the importance of money is elevated. But also this is down to 2, yet more coping. Men are open to the idea that money is the biggest attraction switch that draws women to men, because potentially anyone can become rich through a lottery win, work promotion, inheritance, creativity and entrepreneurship, or criminal activity. Most men won't become rich, but it's more likely that a man who isn't rich can become so than a man who isn't good looking can become so. Men hate to admit powerlessness. A man has more power over his money than over his looks, so it's what men choose to focus on. A man's wealth allows a woman to indulge in her princess mentality and can give her the lifestyle she thinks she deserves. While money can attract women into a man's life for this and other reasons pointed out earlier, it doesn't necessarily make a man physically attractive to a woman. How many women would turn down this lifestyle for her and her offspring? Note the body language of Donald Trump's wife, Melania. This is the body language of someone who is with a man in all likeliness purely for his resources, money and power. She pretends to fix her hair to avoid holding his hand, or does an attempt to hold his hand after realizing his attempt to hold hers. Here she is, again reluctant to hold his hand. What a coincidence. Never mind whether or not this is attraction, this looks like disdain. How would you feel if your wife kissed you like this? She can't even contain her disgust or despair, and this is how she behaves when she's supposed to be showing a united front. Millionaire Matchmaker is a TV show that documents the experiences of rich candidates who use Patti Stanger's dating agency in order to find love. Applicants, usually women, who know the candidate is rich, stand before Patti's panel and are assessed on whether they are suited to the candidate. The applicants then meet the candidate before he selects one to go on a fancy date with all the trimmings.
Do it! I came into this thinking there was going to be some sort of connection. I didn't think it was going to be a connection like we had tonight. I'm very surprised. It's a good surprise. Picture perfect, right?
Jason, although more on the unattractive side and to boot is weird, seems to be getting along fine with the attractive Stephanie. Would a woman really be intimate with a man just for his money? It looks like the ugly guy Jason was doing well with his match.
So how'd your date go?
So we went on one date.
Yeah.
You know, it was fun. Kiss, whatever.
You asked her for a second date, I assume.
Yeah. And then the up part was she had a boyfriend.
What do you mean she said she had a boyfriend? If I find out she does have a boyfriend, I will throw her out of the club because that's not allowed. Let me call her. You want to stay here and see? Want to call her? Pretend
Yeah.
you're not here, though, okay? That's your date, and I just want to cut to the chase. I'm kind of confused. You have a boyfriend?
No, you know what? I keep going back and forth with this one guy.
Okay, so you're dating, basically, but you don't have a boyfriend.
But the fact remains, being able to give a woman a dream lifestyle will get you at the very least short-term intimacy, but not necessarily love. Even if you believe this TV show is fake, so-called sugar daddy dating websites like Patti Stanger's dating agency exist, so the point still stands.
You're my homie, my lover, and even my friend. I want you to be my entourage. I want you to be my entourage.
One of the main differences between attracting women because of your money and attracting women because of your status is that your status is more intrinsic to you. Money is what you have, status is your worth. It's preferable for a woman to be with you because of your popularity than because of your money. These photos show German Nazi-occupied France. Despite more than 2 million Frenchmen being held in prisoner of war camps, the birth rate boomed in 1942 with an estimated 200,000 children born to Franco-German couples. One of the reasons why there are few women in racial supremacist movements is because tribe loyalty is mostly a behavioral pattern or mentality of males. Women in general have less loyalty to their race and will choose the high-status victor to ensure the passing on of their genes. Oksana Okladnikova was part of a racist white supremacist group in Russia. Here she is with Slavic Union Nazi leader Dmitry Demushkin. Long story short, she has since featured in interracial BBC porn movies. The point here is that women tend not to have any allegiance, even if it seems so. If you can bring enough looks, money or status, then you can get a woman to do almost whatever you want. Here is pop music sensation Justin Bieber with Fangirls. They're in awe of him. None of them would reject his sexual advances. A key point to note though is that good looks and status are often correlated. You can become high status through your looks.
Oh my god.
It just feels like skin.
I know. I feel my skin. Oh my god.
You trying to kiss me?
Yeah.
Another coping mechanism, or cope, that men tell themselves is that women age like milk whereas men age like fine wine. Men with poor dating lives now tell themselves that they'll peak in attractiveness as they get older. The red-pilled reality, however, is different, to put it bluntly. As you age, your skin loses elasticity, its youthful glow, collagen, and in time will develop lines and wrinkles. The loss of fatty tissue between the skin surface and muscles causes a noticeable loss of volume and skin sagging. You lose bone mass owing to the breaking down of bone and falling testosterone levels. The arrows pointing toward the skull show the direction in which bone is lost over the course of your post-pubertal life, not just from old age. The eye sockets widen, and bone in the midface and lower jaw is lost owing to bone breakdown, resulting in increased skin sagging around your eye area, midface and jaw. You may put on weight due to the work-life imbalance. Balding ages a man. According to the American Hair Loss Association, by 35, 2/3 of men have experienced some degree of hair loss, and by the age of 50, about 85% of men have significantly thinner hair. Most men are reluctant to believe that they're balding during the early stages, and only fully acknowledge that hair loss has begun when it becomes very noticeable, so balding can be regarded as starting earlier than men realize. Fighting aging is almost a losing battle. Very few men are better looking at 35 than they were at 25, without massive weight loss or cosmetic surgery. Aging also decreases your appeal to young, healthy-bodied and healthy-minded women. But what's wrong with dating women your own age as you age? When girls are younger, they tend to fall head over heels in love. They haven't yet built up a bitterness towards men owing to multiple failed relationships or lays that didn't lead to relationships. Most young girls haven't yet built up a crassness and shallowness that comes with promiscuity throughout their teens and 20s. They haven't yet begun to see men only for what they can get from them. They are free to love without the responsibilities of child-rearing, work and a mortgage. Experts reveal the number of sexual partners you've had could determine how likely you are to get a divorce. The study found that for women marrying since 2000, those with 10 or more partners were most likely to divorce. That's right, when you settle down with a 35-year-old woman, you will probably never compare to her earlier crushes. When you're older and meet a woman around the same age, likely she will never be as sexually adventurous and as loving as she was in her past. You're paying a hefty price for a 20th or 30th hand product. You will always be the overly horny husband who just won't give it a rest. You'll never be the hot young guy named Chad, who she was smitten with throughout the duration of their relationship, who she fucked behind a dumpster.
Do you believe you might have been in love with a former boyfriend on your wedding day?
Oh my.
Lauren?
If I wanted to get back together with you, would you leave your husband?
MGTOW, or Men Going Their Own Way, is an online community of men who decry and want no part of modern-day romantic coupling, or indeed society, which they feel has become severely biased in favor of women. or gynocentric. Examples of such biases include how in divorce cases, 70% of which are initiated by women, women are overwhelmingly awarded child custody, how men are sometimes ruthlessly pursued for lifetime alimony payments and child support even if they don't have access to said children, and how a woman's mere accusing a man of rape can ruin his life. They discussed the resources hunting, aka gold digging, nature of women in their middle age, how society infantilizes women, absolving them of responsibility, pandering to women, and even giving women less or shorter punishments for the same crimes that men commit. Though the reasons MGTOW give for swearing off dating and especially marrying women are legitimate, ironically most MGTOW are unattractive middle-aged men who even most average-looking women wouldn't want to date anyway. The men going their own way movement is mostly a cope for men sent their own way by women. These are some MGTOW broadcast content providers, Stardust, Vention One, and CS MGTOW respectively, and MGTOW France next. Even though I obscured their faces, you can tell they aren't good looking. Most MGTOW swearing off women is akin to a penniless drunkard hobo in a Mercedes-Benz car dealership, stating his refusal to buy a car. The dealership has far more valuable customers, and the hobo can't afford any cars there anyway. Women would only care if attractive and high-status men went their own way. For men who have sworn off women, most of their materials discuss women. They even use female sexuality to get more views. Women may care about the idea of MGTOW and its potential spread, but if you showed them the actual guys going their own way, in most cases they wouldn't give a fuck. More on MGTOW soon. If certain proportions of your facial features are unattractive, about the only permanent way to remedy them is to have cosmetic surgery. In the before surgery photo, this man has flat cheekbones. They should project more forwards and sidewards, something like this. He also has a roundish jawline. While his jawline has definition, it lacks angularity. Possibly owing to a combination of a gonian that's too high set, a gonial angle that's too obtuse or open, too short a ramus. Here he is post-surgery and with a tan. The cheekbone implants are subtle but noticeable. Ideally they would have been placed higher. The jaw implant sharpens his lower face. This is what's known as looks maxing, or maximizing one's looks. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. There are tiers of looks maxing that should be undertaken before cosmetic surgery. We'll look at these soon. Coming up from What Attracts Women 2 onwards, everything covered over these 4 introductory episodes and more, including the sex penis red pill. It's not the size that counts, but how you use it is what people tell men with small dicks. The immigration red pill, how the changing demographics of your country can impact your dating life. The life red pill, it's not just about dating. Looks determine a large part of your life and happiness. And my work in progress chart in detail. There's no going back to the blue pill.